at MIT. Got skills.
Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Don't know if y'all have ever heard of Weird Al Yankovic, but that's White and Nerdy. That's my theme song.
Watermelon and the Sledgehammer?
No, that's Gallagher.
Oh, Gallagher. Okay, all right.
No, Weird Al's the accordion.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. I remember, and going back to our discussion we had last hour about the cassette tapes and stuff. I grew up in Iowa, eastern Iowa, on the Mississippi River. We said Mississippi in Iowa. They said Mississippi down in Mississippi. But I said,
where I'm from, it's Mississippi.
Mississippi. Right. And you can tell somebody that's not from the South when they call it New Orleans.
Nolans.
That's right.
And it's not. And the funny thing in Louisiana, see, I say Louisiana, it's Lafayette. But we have a Georgia named after the same person, and it's called Lafayette. Lafayette, Georgia.
Lafayette, Georgia, and then of course there's Baton Rouge.
Oh yeah, Baton Rouge. We always know someone's not from Tennessee if you say Nashville.
Hey, there
Knoxville.
You go.
No, it's Nashville. Knoxville.
Yeah. That's how you spell V-I-L. That's how you pronounce V-I-L-L-E. Vol. Louisville. And all that. All that stuff. It is fun to hear all this different pronunciation from around the country.
Well, in music, it's are you washed in the blood or you worshed in the blood?
They do add an R around here, Washington, and I'm like, there's no R in Washington. Anyway, it is it is kind of funny, but I forget where we're going with this story.
I have no idea where you were going with this story. Don't drag us into this.
Well, where I lived in Mississippi wasn't too far from Yazoo City.
Yazoo, yeah.
And Yazoo City has a connection to New Mexico because for a long time their spokesperson was Jerry Clower.
Oh, Jerry Clower, crazy man.
And Jerry Clower was the spokesperson for Mississippi Potash, and Mississippi Potash has a big facility down outside of Carlsbad, or they used to. I don't know if it's still Mississippi Potash anymore. But Jerry Clower was from that part of the world.
Funny. And he was a good, strong Christian man as well.
Absolutely.
He ended every one of his shows, if he was, doing a live show, with presenting the gospel.
Yeah.
He was one of our staples that made us laugh all those years. All those fellers are gone,
That's true. Well, and some people change over time, too. Remember, in 1979... Charlie Daniels was doing an album.
Oh, yeah.
And Million Mile Reflections. And they just about had the album finished. And the producer called Charlie and said, you don't have a fiddle song on this album. The album was done. It was wrapped up and ready to be released and go. And they didn't have a fiddle song on the album.
Devil went down to Georgia.
And he went back, and a couple hours later, he said, well, I got one for you. Devil went down to Georgia. Now, the original version of the song, he swears. But later in life, he kind of moderated all that.
Yeah, he got born again.
He got born again.
Christ,
And he was here in Artesia. He was a New Year's Eve concert one years ago, and I brought my Million Mile Reflections album.
Oh, yeah.
That's the big black thing with the little hole in the middle. Not the little black thing with the big hole in the middle, which is another thing I never did quite understand. Why would you have a little... Anyway. And so I brought it over there, and I asked him, I said, well, which version of the song are you going to perform tonight? And he says, well, I have a Methodist version and I have a Baptist version.
How funny.
So, but another one of the great entertainers that always finished with a great story or a message or something like that. But you find interesting people from everywhere you go, and I'm sure everywhere you go, Jake, you probably get told local stories about famous people or famous things or events. I mean, I didn't know you were related now or a descendant of Billy the Kid.
Well, Billy the Kid's cohort.
Yeah, but you don't have to say it that way,
Which in the movie Young Guns, he was portrayed by as an Indian that was excellent with knives.
Okay.
When in reality, it's said that he was the only man that Billy the Kid would not draw against because he was so good with a handgun.
Yeah, and it's amazing the stories you get to hear around the country. We asked our guests to just stick around a little while longer so we could kind of remind everybody of the events and the things that we talked about. Jason Perry from New Hope Baptist Church. And Jake, how do you spell that last name of it?
C-I-N.
Ereski.
Cinereski.
Cinereski.
Okay.
Close.
I should know how to pronounce that.
That's all right. They were close.
Someday I'll have to tell you my real name.
There you go.
It's,
Guten Schnauchhagen.
my dad's family came over, from Europe and went through Ellis Island and settled in Bayonne, New Jersey.
Wow.
Believe it or not. And then he wound up, my dad, in school in Sioux City, Iowa, where he met my mother, and that's where I, was raised in Iowa. But now here we are in New Mexico together. So before we run out of time, the Voices New Mexico, the community choir that Mike Askins is putting together. Mike, you are now the music minister at New Hope Baptist Church?
I am. I've been there for almost a month or so.
Okay.
It's exciting. It's working with some wonderful people, some nice musicians, and it's a blessing. The only drawback right now is that we live in Roswell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 54 miles from our house down to Artesia, and when you come twice and sometimes more a day, it's a long drive, but I've got to know the state policeman.
Really? Now, wait a second. I don't remember us talking about that in the interview.
Well, my passion in life is a little 2006 Subaru WRX, which is a rally race car.
That's right.
And they know it well. If you see a blue one, actually World Rally Blue, with a gray carbon fiber wing
That's
on the back.
floating 3 inches above
That's
the road.
me.
And then they see you get out of it.
That's right. Mike, are you home? Are you going home from church tonight? Yes, sir, I am. We got you going 73 and a 55, and I said, yes, sir, I probably do.
And I'm just the opposite. I'm the boring driver. I'm the put the what do you call that?
The cruise
Odometer?
control?
Yeah, the cruise control. Put it on the speed limit and go. And,
Yeah, you're the one.
I'm the one. The one.
So do you, Jake, do they have speed limits in Alaska? I mean, it's such a wide
they
open
do.
area.
Yes, sir.
I mean, is it a wide open area? People can just...
No, it's actually the stretch from where we live to Anchorage. It's one of the most dangerous roads
Wow.
that you can get on.
Turning arm.
It's
Yeah.
very dangerous. So,
Yeah.
but people fly up and down there, and it's amazing the difference to me in the way that people drive in the snow and on the ice down here as up there. They're crazy up there, and it's covered with metal. Just everyone's on the gas, and it's. You have the right kind of tires, and if you have a truck, the right kind of weight distribution and all that.
Well, but if you crash into 8 foot of snow. I mean, so it's.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Well, that's still not a good
But
thing.
now, I do have to tell you this, but one time when I was in Alaska, I was with a gentleman in a small 2-seater plane, and he was taking me above the Arctic Circle to a place called Fort Yukon. And as we were going up that way, he asked me if I wanted a cup of coffee. And I'm looking around for coffee.
You're in a plane.
There's no coffee. And I look down, and there's a coffee stand on this long, straight road. And on the roof, it says, coffee 24 HRS, coffee 24 hours. He was going to land that thing.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I don't want a cup of coffee. I don't want a cup of coffee. He was going to land that thing. People are crazy up there. Yeah.
I don't know. People are kind of crazy around
Well,
here.
yeah, let's get off that subject, I guess.
I mean, this is a city councilor in Roswell.
Yeah.
How many snow plows do you have in Roswell now?
You know what? We're about to sell one. That's the truth.
one? I didn't know you had
I'm
one.
the chair of the finance committee, and we've got one that's all rusted out. I think it was used for 30 minutes one year back in 1970, whatever. And
Probably
it's all
Goliath.
It's all rusted out.
Yeah.
And so we're about to get rid of a front-end snowplow. It's not the whole plow, but it's just the blade.
The blade part. Because
so
what
we
happens
laugh
around
about
here,
that.
Jake, is we get, a foot of snow.
3 hours later.
It's gone because
Right.
it melts. And the guys that really clean
Thank
up...
the Lord.
That's right. And the guys that really clean up are the guys that run the blades and the bucket trucks because they scoop it all up and just take it out into the country.
Right.
If we just be patient
Take care of yourself.
and just wait a little bit. real quick on the Voices New Mexico Artesia, community choir for Artesia, or anybody that
Still
wants to
room
come
for
in.
people. Still room.
Still room. When do you meet, or do you want them to call you for more?
I'd like for them to go onto the Facebook page.
Okay.
And just Voices New Mexico.
Okay.
And that way I'll post our schedule, our practice rehearsal times. There's going to be quite a bit of practicing at home with use of the rehearsal CD and the songbook that I'm giving to them. And it's all free. There's no cost. It's very convenient for people. We're going to make things just as easygoing as we possibly can, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Good.
You know, let me just say this. Choirs are really a thing that we're losing. And I'm not here to preach one way or the other on this, but a lot of churches have gone away from choirs into more of a praise band type of format that doesn't have the community or the parishioner singing a lot of harmony. It's mainly, you know, a basic flow of a song, whereas a choir, you learn that 4-part harmony, you learn that structure, you learn a lot, and it's an art in itself. It just in choir singing.
It's got a beauty all of its own.
Yeah, there may be folks out there that used to sing in a choir in a church, and their church no longer has a choir. This is not a way for New Hope to run and grab up a bunch of people. That's not the focus of this. This is keeping an art alive and strong. There may be someone who's hadn't sang in a choir in 20 years. Well, I couldn't do that. You could with this choir. You
sure
come on
could.
and be a part of
Wow,
this.
that's great. And then Jake Cinereski. Jake,
Yes,
you're
sir.
going to be here all week preaching at New Hope Baptist Church. Your family's here.
Yeah.
And so come meet Jake and your family. 6:30 at New Hope, and which is on Center Street here in Artesia. If you know where Yeso School is, it's just up or down or
Just catty corner. Yes,
from Yeso School on Center Avenue here in Artesia. And is there anything else, Pastor Perry,
You know,
you'd like to share?
just one other thing I'd like to share with everyone. You know, everybody gets frustrated this time of year with the daylight savings and stuff. And
Yeah,
just
my clock here says it's 10:17.
well,
so.
just for everybody to know, if everyone would just join a local Baptist church, we could get rid of this daylight savings thing.
Oh.
You see, because we saved an hour last year, didn't we?
Yes.
Well, Baptists believe once saved, always saved. So we could fix this if you'll just go to your local Baptist church. We'll get this fixed for you, all
All
right?
right, if you're going to tell a terrible joke, I'm going to tell a terrible joke. You know, I was in the choir once, and I sang solo that nobody else could hear me. Bringing out the old dad jokes, right?
10 or 12 miles off key.
10 or 12 miles.
You know, the one time I tried to sing, I was at the radio station. This was in Iowa, and I'm just a kid. It's a Saturday morning. Nobody's in the building. The door's open to the studio, and I'm playing, I don't know, and I'm just singing away, top of my lungs to whatever it was I was playing, and I see the boss walk by. That ended my singing career.
Well, both of y'all are going to get us all in treble. Let's just let this go.
All right, Jake, you want to throw one out here?
What's the one I heard? I once sang through a screen door and strained my voice.
Sounds like you have a lot of fun
I'm
with.
surprised. He's not a good joke teller. That one was pretty good. We'll end on that one. There you go. Come here
All right,
tonight.
thanks a lot, Pastor Jason Perry, Jake Cinereski. Thank you so much, Jake. Nice to meet you, Mike. Nice to meet you, and
Thank you, sir.
we'll be in touch because we want to help promote all these great events. But
We're
definitely
hoping to have 60 or 80 voices.
in the
So it won't
community
be a
choir.
small group, but it won't be a horribly large group.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
And
Thank you.
thank
All
you, Kith and Ken. That whatever kind of muffin that was,
Yes.
some kind
Pumpkin.
of pumpkin stuff. Oh my goodness! There's a reason why I'm not allowed to go there more than once a week. But thank you. That was wonderful.
They give him a Kith and Kin debit card, you know, and this is all you can spend this week, Jason. So spend it wisely, which is great. All right, thanks a lot, folks. Well, let's see what kind of weather we're going to have today.